Blog Talk Radio.
Round one. Fight, 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 fight. Welcome, my minions, Earthlings. You have stumbled across the number one internet sports talk show in the world. My name is tom-marquis, El Presidente. Welcome, and begin to pay homage to me for the next 2 hours as we will guide you through this crazy world of sports. And welcome to all of our affiliate radio stations across this great land. This is the number one sports talk show in the world between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Coming off a great, awesome NFL draft special on Thursday night. If you missed it, catch it on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, TuneIn, and catch it there, or certainly here on Blog Talk Radio in our archived division. It was one for the records. It was a great NFL draft show, and we'll continue our NFL draft talk later on in the second hour. Coming up here, though, right around the corner, Matthew Embry from Popular Open Wheel Now joins us, breaking down a soggy Barber down in Bama. But more importantly, guess what? Indy Car's back in Indy. That's right. So we're going to be talking Indy 500, Indy Grand Prix, all of that with Matthew Embry. And then Steve Wilson from Speedway-Digest joins us. Got a lot to talk about. It's DEGA Baby, shake and bake. 917-889-8. Try that again. 917-889-8516 is our digits. If you want to be a part of the show, myself and my executive producer, Rick-riggin, is right here for you. We'll be right back. It's about to get good.
Tonight, I just want to take you away. Blow your hands up in the sky. Let's set this party alright. Players, watch out, take it, bring us to the moon.
Bobby, you here again?
Yeah, my doctor told me to reduce stress at work, so I come to Buffalo Wild Wings to eat lunch and watch sports. I get to pick one of 7 entrees, like sandwiches and salads, plus one of 7 sides.
Well, I like sides.
It's so affordable I can finally take a vacation.
Where you gonna go?
Here, Tim, here.
Introducing the new Beat-Up Fast Break Lunch Menu, starting at a new low price. Dine in or order takeout weekdays between 11 and 2. Participation and availability may vary. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
It's double trouble, double the fun at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. See the largest antelope on Earth, the giant eland, and the ugliest creature on Earth, the African warthog. There's so much to see and do, including the Midwest's only drive-through safari. Feed the animals, see live educational shows, feel the excitement, have your picture taken with a python or cockatoo, feel the adventure. Shop the Simba Lodge gift shop with items available from around the globe. Visit the snack bar or picnic facilities. Enjoy a pony or camel ride. Or cheer your favorite porker on to victory in the famous Pork Chop Down. Bring your family to see the rare and exotic animals at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. Just take Route 2 to the Route 53 North exit and follow the sign. Only 17 miles west of Cedar Point via Route 6. Open every day, rain or shine.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike, you know.
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your move.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
And welcome back to The Balance. My name is Tom-Marquis, El Presidente. About ready to kick things off here. Before we do, bring on board our executive producer to say hello, Mr. Rick-Riggin. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Tom. Welcome to The Balance listeners. Matt Embry, I don't know if you're here yet or not. I don't have that control panel in front of me, but good morning to you, too.
Good
Matt
day, my good friends.
Hey, there he is. What's going on?
So I thought I'd take
a
second. I thought I'd take a quick second here, guys, before we get into the Indy Car talk, because we play a little Homer game here in Indiana. Matthew, I know you're up there in the thick of things in the Fighting Irish and Notre Dame, and of course Rick Riggin, big Notre Dame guy, and I'm a big Colts fan. Big connection there. What is it? Quentin Nelson, number 1 overall pick for the Colts, and the number 6 pick, overall for the Colts in the first round. We'll start with you, Matt. You're up there in the thick of it. What do people think about Quentin Nelson staying in the Hoosier State?
It's a decent pick, I tell you. It's interesting that things worked out that way. I thought for sure he'd probably go – I didn't think he'd go number 6. I thought that he would go, possibly 10 or just outside of that. But, it's a good opportunity. They obviously need protection for Andrew Luck if he is not necessarily 100% at the start of the year. So I think it's going to work out in all camps, and then they also got another talented lineman in the later on as well. So things are looking real good right now for the Colts. Just very curious to see what they do coming up. Today, starting at noon, when they have a few picks, obviously could use another wide receiver. If they want to stay on the Notre Dame route, there's always Equanimous St. Brown, for instance, as one possibility, or even Deshaun Johnson from Penn State. That's a possibility. So there's a few places where they can still find some decent value. And, again, as we've seen time and time again, we've seen scenarios where even an undrafted player will help you. So there's still places where the Colts could bolster themselves. And for Notre Dame players that may not get picked because there's questions whether or not Niles Morgan's name will be called, et cetera, there's still an opportunity for them to be able to contribute somehow, some way. I mean, look at, for instance, Matthias Farley, another undrafted player that's been doing very well at the Colts the last couple seasons.
There you go, Rick. Have it break down for us. Rick Riggin, certainly our college football analyst and big Notre Dame homer himself. Quentin Nelson, number 6 overall pick in the first round to the Indianapolis Colts. What say you, Rick?
Yeah, I'm with Matt on this one. I didn't feel like he would go as high as 6. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk with him possibly even being top 5, but I thought he would just fall down right into Harry Heistein's lap with the Chicago Bears. That's actually where I thought he would end up. But you know what? The Colts went out, and I feel like that Quentin Nelson might be the only true guarantee that's going to be a great multi-time Pro Bowler in this draft, and went out and got their guy in Quentin Nelson, and they also got another guard in the second round. So Frank Reich is doing the right things. He's protecting Andrew Luck. That was the right moves, and just like Matt was talking about an EQ possible receiver for the Colts, as they're looking receiver, but they also might need some running back help too, and Josh Adams is still available.
Well, we'll certainly get into that more into the second hour. Obviously, we got to get into some Indy Car talk here. Rick's monitoring the war room. If you got questions on Twitter, if you want to follow us on social media or chat with us on social media, Rick's got you there. 917-889-8516 is our digits if you want to talk IndyCar, NASCAR, NFL, what have you. And how about those Indiana Pacers forcing a Game 7 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. All of that coming up in the second hour. We'll get to you now. Matthew Embry, IndyCar, kind of a rainy Barber Motorsports, had to do a two-dayer, if you will, but got the race in. Give us a recap of racing down in Bama.
First things first, the folks that's on Twitter, folks, that's not me, by the way. I do have my shirt on. I don't have an American flag in my hands, and it's not raining super hard in South Bend right now. Anyway, so, crazy race there. And crazy race there. Obviously, Newgarden getting the victory. Obviously, that now gives him 2 wins on the season. He's still right up there. Now, in fact, has regained the points lead from Alexander Rossi headed to the month of May events at Indy. I think it was just a matter of survival for pretty much everybody right now in getting through that race because the conditions were just atrocious there. You really couldn't pass. You really couldn't do a whole lot. The big thing was just staying on the road and out of trouble and, avoiding places where you could lose time, obviously, on the pit lane. But miserable conditions, and I'd say give an attaboy to anyone that placed in the top 10 this past weekend or Monday as the race got delayed by a day.
Absolutely. Well, the good thing about it is the sun has returned. It is sunny here in Indianapolis. Certainly, we've seen our share of rain here in Indianapolis this year. Hopefully, the month of May is sunny for us. But we get ready now for the Indianapolis Grand Prix. I know you and I will reconnect in person at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this year. But an exciting time to be had by all in the month of May. Talk with us a little bit about what is so special about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They're at 16th and Georgetown in Speedway, Indiana.
Well, obviously, it was big when it was just a once-a-year thing. Obviously, some things have died down just a little bit with the extra events like, the Brickyard 400, et cetera. But this is still the main draw. Draws the biggest number of fans in the seats for certainly. When we get to May 27th, you'll certainly see that. Like to see more fans show up for qualifying weekend. That's something that's been a little bit lacking the last few years where there's been a lot of empty seats. Maybe the bumping will bring a few hardened fans back for that. But, this is the big culmination right now, and I think there's a lot of unknowns this year as, how fast these cars will go, how much trouble will these cars have with the lighter weight in the back as opposed to the last few years when they had all that weight in the rear of the car. If that's going to cause a little bit of a learning curve, maybe that'll allow some of the rookies to be more competitive this time around. But, ultimately, this is what it's all about. And, hey, I'm proud to say I've been to, at least one day of action every month at Indy since 2005. There's a reason I'm there, and as long as I'm around, I'm going to still be there as much as I possibly can.
Well, let's start breaking down these camps as they get ready for the Indianapolis Grand Prix, and of course the 102nd running. I'm sorry, I'll get this straight. Of the Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in racing. You get if you're James Hinchcliffe, you got to be happy. If you're Wickens, you got to be happy. If you're Canadian, you got to be happy. Talk with us a little bit about the 2 Canadian drivers that are making a huge impact on IndyCar in 2018.
Well, obviously, Hitch is going to have a chance. Obviously, the pole sitter here a couple years ago had the Deerfield crash a year before that. Wickens, I think, has been able to take to a duck to water. So if he makes the Firestone Fast Dive even as a rookie, I wouldn't be surprised. And obviously, one guy that stands to benefit as well, you would think, would be Jay Howard, who had a very impressive qualifying run. Unfortunately, ran out of gas in the race and then got involved in the accident that sent Scott Dixon into orbit, thankfully without injury. But, you look at those 3 and maybe even Jack Harvey, considering Sam Smith's providing the car for Meyer Shank. Those 4 guys could be extremely competitive when we get to the month of May. And like we say, Sam the man's had some success here. And like I wrote in the article, my Power Rankings article, Pop Their Open Wheel earlier this week, maybe they're due for some more good luck with possibly a little bit of edge, possibly toward the Honda as opposed to Chevrolet, assuming that trend that we've seen the last 2 years comes into play again.
So Indy Car doing some testing, and the fans can go out to the Speedway and check out the testing. Talk with us a little bit about that, what it is. Certainly it's not a race, but it's certainly a good opportunity for fans to get out there and see cars on the track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Indy Speedway test opens up to the fans.
That will be the